And then where are some of these other communities when it comes to the city staff size? Because again, I'm really trying to look and identify opportunities for us to see what we can do. And when I started to compare ourselves to some of these other communities, understanding that there's going to possibly be a difference in the city services that are provided, I was seeing that we had some variances that were anywhere from 220 more city employees to the lowest that I saw was 123. And that's just kind of going down the list. It was like West Des Moines was 59K for the population, so obviously just a 2% higher population than Dubuque, but they only had 513 employees. Ames at 60,000. Their city employee or FTE is 564 with 4% more citizens. Council Bluffs at 62,000, they only have 478. Waterloo at 68,000, they have 557. And then Iowa City, who would be the next community that's fairly close to us at 70,000 residents, they're at 575. So obviously when you look at those individual cities and you look at the operating expense that's associated with the employee cost, you're looking at cities that are operating anywhere from $12 million to $6 million less than the city of Dubuque is, even though they have on average about 10% more residents in the city of Dubuque. So my question is, are we looking at those kind of things when we're making decisions to increase our city staff to ensure that, one, we're being efficient with the additions that we're adding, and two, that it's staying fiscally responsible in relation to where some of these other communities are?
Because each service takes some commitment of time. And in fact, if you look at the city of West Des Moines, we operate more efficiently than the city of West Des Moines does as far as a staff commitment to the provision of services. I haven't had time to break down all these other cities that are used in this comparison. I'd be happy to do that. I will guarantee you in some cases we'll have more employees than those other cities, and there might be other cases like this one where we'll end up having less. But we'll look at the comparison and we'll certainly have it to you as quickly as we possibly can. You have to do a lot of digging to come up with this information, but we're capable of doing it and we will do it. Yeah, and generally the West Des Moines residents are paying much more for their services, and we're operating more efficiently as far as number of employees.
Mayor.
Mr. Jones?
The other factor in these two particular cities, and West Des Moines is a poor comparison for us, I think, because of that, but we're pushing 180 years old, and that includes infrastructure all over the place, and West Des Moines is, for all intents and purposes, a neo-city. It's been a huge growth area, but mostly when West Des Moines grows, they cut out 75, 80-foot wide swaths and put streets, and put lots of nice flat areas. Flat acreages become urban acreages, and it's easier to build, it's easier to maintain, and certainly much less expensive. And back from my old area of expertise, West Des Moines partners with Dallas County, the county to the west of them, for their emergency medical services, which is separate from fire. So they're using a similar number of fire personnel to ours, and but ours incorporates all of the emergency medical services activity. So there's a cost to that too, and it's a big, expensive standalone operation that I've got some intimate experience with. So, and most of the time when you line up the apples and oranges, it's a real difficult effort. And my hats off to you for doing the comparisons that you did. It's not new to us. It needs looking at every now and then. I completely agree with that, but it's an awful task to get all oranges and figure out what you got when you're trying to compare two cities, especially two like these.
If I could follow up on that. So, Mike, you did mention that this is something that we do. So, and I apologize, I don't necessarily want to put you on the spot, but
sure.
Since we've made that statement, when was the last time that we've actually done this type of comparison and actually shared it with the citizens of Dubuque?
Oh, I'd say it was many years ago. So it'll be this year. Will be the next time.
Okay. Would you be able to let me know when that was, and I could go back and look at that to see kind of what was used as far as the methodology to compare the cities?
Sure, we'll give you, we actually had a 3-page process that every single department had to go through.
Okay.
And it was during about the first 7 years that I was here. So I've been here 23 years, so it would have been about 15 years ago.
So it's been quite some time with obviously changing dynamics in the economic
Yep.
yes, conditions, sir, across not only Iowa but across the nation. So
yes.
And I believe if we were to look at Dubuque and the size of our employee base, That's probably grown substantially over the last 15 years as well. Would that be an accurate statement?
We have more employees than we had 15 years ago, yes.
And then the other thing that I had just picked out, because I think, when you're talking about the services, I mean, obviously they find ways to be efficient and to find other means to still provide those services that do not come against that operating budget. So I would hope that we would also do the same when we're looking at our opportunities to see if there are some ways that we could also possibly reduce our costs and maybe not carry such a overhead for some of these same services. Still have them, we just have a different means to provide them.